Ooh, that's messed up.
Hold on, worry. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You warm? You look
Yeah,
warm.
it's cold. I just came back from outside. I'm always cold.
Y ahorita más.
You
How
feel
was
sick
your
too?
Valentine's Day weekend? What did you and your honey do?
We went to watch my daughter play volleyball.
Oh, okay.
It was fun.
How old is she?
She's 14.
Oh, dang. Okay. How fun.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
My daughter is 11. I'm hoping that she decides to play volleyball because volleyball is fun to watch. Bless you.
It is.
Does she play anything else?
No, once she starts high school, she's planning on playing softball. Hi, Anai.
Yeah, softball's so fun. If she decides to run, Sierra's like a world champ.
Yeah, world champ.
Nice.
No, she's really good. Maybe she's not a world champ.
She was really good.
A
long time ago.
Well, she knows how to run. So
from my problems.
She's sitting next to me.
Hello.
Hi.
How fun. Yeah, definitely.
What about you? Did you do anything?
I did volleyball, I did softball, I did soccer. I sucked at most of them, but
But you tried, that's good.
It was so fun because that's where my friends were. So I had a lot of fun.
That's good. I never did anything, so
no,
that's good.
Yeah, I think it's good for them to stay occupied. Is she your only child?
Yes. No, I have a boy, 10-year-old, and he plays baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, if she plays softball, then they can help each other out.
Yes. She's good. She's really athletic, so she's good. Really, I think in any sport, she'd be good just because she likes sports and she likes trying, and she always tries to do her best. So I think she'll do good.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, she's always seen my son play baseball. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of,
yeah.
I'm just glad they're doing sports.
Yeah.
I never did anything. So I'm glad, my husband is the one that always, he did baseball, he did football, he did wrestling. He was really good at wrestling in high school.
How fun.
So I'm encouraging them to always be, in sports.
Yeah, just keeping them involved, I think.
Yes. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm just their cheerleader.
That's good. That's awesome. I can't wait until Alina starts doing stuff. I'm gonna be that mom.
Yes. Yes.
That mom.
Let's be that mom together.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it. And she knows too. She's like, you're so embarrassing sometimes. I'm like,
I know.
I'm a parent. That's what I'm supposed to do. Good morning, Alvaro. Good morning. All right.
How are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thank you.
See, working?
Yes.
You look like you're deep in thought right now. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I think everyone's kind of just, es el frío. Everyone's gonna be trickling in a little bit at a time, but let's go ahead and just get started. That way you guys can get on with your day. Happy President's Day, by the way. It's a holiday today, which means if it's a holiday for the world, what does that mean to us as realtors? today is a great day to prospect. So typically on Mondays are like our administrative days. I typically recommend you guys don't do heavy prospecting on Mondays, but being that today's a holiday, today's a really good day for you guys to prospect. So let me repeat that for everybody that was jumping on. So good morning, ladies. Good morning, Alex. If you guys can please turn your videos on, I would love to see your beautiful faces this lovely Monday morning. I was saying right before you guys jumped on, I was saying today's President's Day. So happy President's Day. Since it's a holiday for the rest of the world, today is a really good day for you guys to prospect. Okay. We really want to start the week off right. We are halfway through February already. It's gone by like this, right? We wrote out our goals on the first week of January. All of us said, you know, we want to close X amount of deals per month, or we want to make X amount of money for the year. And then you should have broken down your goals into monthly goals and weekly goals. And from there, we should be able to track who's on track to close what they're supposed to be closing. So personally, I am not on track right now. So I know I have to ramp up my prospecting because I'm behind on my goals already. You should already know if you're on track or not. It's been a month. You should know, are you on track or aren't you? If you're not on track, what do you have to do? Well, if you're planning on closing more deals, that just means that you have to do more prospecting. It's that simple. Is it easy? Maybe it's not that easy, but it is that simple. That's the concept. You just have to prospect more. So for everybody that's jumping on, first, please show up on time, guys. Please. I want to get you guys out of here. I want to get you guys out of here on time. I do my best to not go over. So please show up on time because we're going over this information. I want to get you guys in and out and get you the information that you need as quickly as possible so you guys can jumpstart into your week. So I know that it's cold today. Nobody wants to leave their house. Everybody wants to be home. They want to be cuddled up. And guess what? It's a holiday. So there's a lot of people that are off today and they're just chilling at home. They're at home. They're cuddled up with their honey. It's been a long Valentine's Day weekend. Today is a perfect day to prospect. Okay. Always remember that when it's a holiday for the rest of the world, that's a great day for you to be able to make contact with people. So I'm going to give you guys all this challenge to start your week right. Make a list of of the people that you're actually prospecting today. Write it out. Who did you talk to? Who did you text? Who did you reach out to? If you have your CRM system, make sure you're plugging them in, but take at least 1 hour today, 1 additional hour. You guys should already be prospecting for at least an hour a day. So take at least 1 additional hour to prospect today. You guys can do it via social media. You can send out a text message. You can make phone calls. Okay. The way that you do it is up to you. You run your business however you want to run your business. The way that you prospect is determined by your strengths and your weaknesses and how you like to do things. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are available to talk to you today. There's a lot of people that are just kind of hanging out at home. Banks are closed. If any of your friends work at banks, make sure you call them because they're just hanging out at home right now. And it's cold outside. Nobody wants to leave today. Nobody wants to leave their house. That means that you're just going to catch people hanging out at home. What better time to talk to them and catch up? Okay. So that's what we're starting the meeting off with. I would like to make this a challenge for you guys, but I really want you guys to be accountable because I think one of my biggest frustrations is I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys do well. I want to see you guys getting more clients. And I understand that it's a tough market right now. I went to Albuquerque this weekend. And I met with a realtor out there, and he's one of the top producing realtors in Albuquerque. He told me that he's used to having, at any given time, he's used to having about 40 listings. He has about 7 right now. Every market right now is going through what we're going through. Okay, so I know it's tough. I know that it's tough, okay? But these times are the times that make or break us as realtors. These are the times that are really gonna test whether we're gonna go through with this career, whether we're gonna survive in it or not. So you guys just have to do what you have to do. And what you have to do is you just have to keep prospecting. Just keep prospecting. There are people that want to sell their house and they're just waiting. They're waiting for the right time. When is the right time? Now is the right time. Now's the right time. But we're human. And sometimes when we know that we want to do something, what do? We procrastinate. We procrastinate and we wait for a sign. We wait for a sign. Well, I want you guys to go out and be that sign today. Be that sign for somebody, okay? Reach out to as many people as you can reach out to today. All you're gonna do is reach out, and we're gonna use Ford. What does Ford stand for? What does Ford stand for? I'm not gonna tell you guys because I want to see who's paying attention.
Michelle.
Michelle,
Okay.
what?
No,
What's Ford?
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Yes, thank you, Lorena.
You're welcome.
Family, occupation, recreation, dreams or desires. Okay, this is how we network. This is the template that you go through. So when you call somebody, the first thing that you're going to talk about is, hey, how's your family? How are your parents? How's your brother? How's your sister? How are the kids? Okay, occupation. How's your job? How's your job? A lot of people's jobs have been affected by COVID. How's your job? Are you off for the day? Yes, that's your line today. Hey, are you off for the day? Okay, recreation. What are people doing for fun? Is anybody traveling? Did you see them travel over the weekend? Did you see what they did over the weekend on social media for Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day was just this weekend. A bunch of people did stuff. Okay, maybe you can bring up, hey, I saw that you went to Ruidoso this weekend. How was that? Okay, and then dreams or desires. We're still very early in the year, 2021. We're in February. That means that there's still the hype of, hey, what do I want to get done this year? What do I want to get accomplished? You know, talk about that. What are they trying to do? You trying to buy a house this year? Are you trying to move? Are you trying to switch careers? What are you trying to do? Okay, and that's the template you go through. And then at the end of that, you just remind them, hey, I'm still in real estate. If you know of anybody that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Or do you know of anybody that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing? It's my goal this year to help at least 50 families get into a new home. By any chance, do you know of anybody that's thinking about buying a home? It's that simple, okay? So you went through all of their stuff. Now let them in on a little bit of yours. You know what? My family's good. Thank God. COVID, you know, my family's been good. Work is a little tough right now. The market's a little tough, but thank God I have a job, you know, got to go out for the weekend and had a little me time. And now I'm ready to get back to work and sell some houses. This is what I'm trying to do. By any chance, do you know of anybody? Okay. It's simple. It's simple. it's most everything that we do is very simple. Is it easy? No. Why isn't it easy? Because we get in our own head. Okay? We have to master our mind. So we always talk about the mind, and it's because the mind is so powerful, you guys. I'm so happy that we have as many of you on today as we do, because it looked like we were having, less and less agents on, but I'm so proud of each and every one of you guys that is on this training today, because it really shows who's willing to put in the time and the effort and go back to student mode to try to figure stuff out, okay? Because we can always learn something, and sometimes we need that little push of motivation. So I'm super proud of you guys. And if there's one thing I want you to get out of today's training, it's this challenge to go out and prospect today, because today's the perfect day to do it. If you don't prospect today, you're missing a huge opportunity. Nobody's gonna bring these clients to you and just hand them to you. That's not the way that it works in real estate. Even if you're taking some of my leads, I'm only one person. I can only lead generate so much. Okay, you guys need to learn how to lead generate yourself also, so you can learn how to feed your own business, because now you're business owners. Okay, you're not just salespeople, you're business owners, and you have to take this opportunity today to use it and to really to get yourself set. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen now. We're going to finish out last week's training. Does anybody have any questions on anything that I was mentioning? I know I'm kind of hyped, but it's because it's Monday, you guys, and it's a holiday, and it's just such a good day to prospect. So I really hope you guys do this. Can you see my screen? Yes, you can. Okay, we're gonna finish out last week's training. You know what? Before we do, I want to share. It's not really a success story, but me and Ethel have a deal. We have a client under contract right now, and I think this is a good learning experience for you guys. We have a contract right now. We have a seller, and the seller was supposed to close on their deal on Friday. The buyer has been, or the buyer has been looking kind of flaky. Like we're not sure if they're going to close or not. What the lender's telling us is kind of like, it sounds like they need an extension, but we're not 100% sure if what he's telling us is true. And so, Ethel's like, I'm not feeling this guy. Like, I don't believe what he's saying. They're asking for another week. We have a backup contract right now. And so Ethel's kind of put in a position where she's like, okay, do I advise my seller to extend this closing, or do we just move on to the backup offer? First, I want to know, what would you guys do? I would like to hear some opinions. If you're in a situation like this, you're representing the seller, the lender's asking for more time for an extension to close of about a week, but he's not very convincing. Excuse me, he's not very convincing about what he's saying, his reasons. The buyer doesn't sound like they're as solid as they should be. Should we give these people an extension of about a week? The seller's already a little frustrated because we've already extended once, or should we terminate and go with the backup offer, which is essentially going to take longer because now we have a whole month that we're going to close in? Or is there something else that we can do? What would you guys do in a situation like this?
I have actually a situation like that right now. We got a contract for one duplex that we built, and we were supposed to close on January the 25th. So they kept extending. right now we're on our second extension.
And you're the
And
buyer or the
so-
seller?
We're the sellers.
Okay.
It's a new construction.
Okay.
And so I've been in contact with the agent, the buyer's agent, and I'm
Mhm.
always like asking him, like, is everything okay? Like, do you need anything from us? There's a process when it's there's always a process, right? But like, there's different things that we get asked for when it's a new home, like builders, documents, and all these things. And so like I already know what they're gonna ask us for. So I'm always like, okay, when do you need them? Like, stuff like that. And he just kept, sometimes he wouldn't answer, and then he would come back and tell me like, oh, I was waiting for the lender to let me know. So we're like, I don't think the buyers are ready. So I kept asking him, and they would just say that, no, it's the appraisal, and it's this and this, that. But like what you're saying, we're like, if we just terminate this contract and then get someone else, it's only going to take longer. And it's been sitting there for a while. So we're like, okay, well, let's keep working, and let's keep, just giving everything they're asking. So it's not us, the ones that are, deteniendo el proceso, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard. We've had this situation before, and right now they're saying it's the appraisals. We got a house sitting down, finished for 3 months because of the appraisal. It's crazy. We finally closed, but we just keep going. So I don't know. It went through, but in this case, I mean, we just keep going. We gave this buyers a second extension, and we're hoping that it goes through.
Yeah. So
But-
a couple of things from that story, Norma. First, we had kind of briefly talked about knowing the process. We talked about that last week, I think. That's why it's important for us to know the process, the lending process, to some degree. You don't have to be a lender, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be the lender, but you should know the process to some degree. For example, if they're saying that it's the appraisal that's holding us up, well, did we check that the appraisal was ordered 3 weeks before closing at least? As much as we don't want to be the babysitter, sometimes we have to be the babysitter when we're on the sell side. So moving forward, just make sure that you're checking in, hey, has the appraisal been ordered, when it's time for it to be ordered.
Can I talk to the lender? Can I talk to the lender?
You can talk to the lender.
Because I feel like because I'm the seller, I'm on the seller side, I feel like my communication should be with the agent, because then I feel like I'm stepping over, I'm overstepping his responsibility. That's how I see it.
So,
and like I don't want to do that, but then again, I'm like, but I want to know if it's true what you're telling me. But then, like, at what point do I tell them, may I speak to the lender, or do you mind, or like, just to kind of make sure that.
So in the perfect world, we would only talk to the buyer's agent. In the perfect world, we would talk to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent would tell us exactly what we need to know. They would relay the message. However, there's some buyer's agents, or there's some agents that, for whatever reason, the communication's not there in that moment. You can't just wait for them to answer whenever they decide to answer. You have to get your responses. And so the lender is the one that has to be careful about what they're telling you or not telling you. In reality, my lenders, if they're representing my buyers, I don't want them talking to the agent, but that's why I also make it a point to make sure I'm communicating with the agent so that they don't have a reason to go to the lender. Okay. Now, if they're giving you a reason to go to the lender because they're not responding, they're doing that to themselves, to be completely honest. If you want to make sure that you're covering your loose ends, you should be getting the lender's information when you execute the contract, because you should be getting a pre-qualification letter. On the pre-qualification letter, you should have the lender's information. The buyer's agent gave you that information. They know that you have it. You know what I mean? So yes, you typically want to start by reaching out to the buyer's agent, but if the communication's not there, then by all means, reach out to the lender. Okay. And sometimes I'll reach out directly to the lender, even if the buyer's agent is giving me the communication that I need, but they're not explaining things to where they make sense. Why? Because they're not a lender. So if they're being the messenger for the lender, but if they don't completely understand what's going on, when they bring the message back to me, sometimes it doesn't add up. I'm like, well, what do you mean X and Y and Z? Like, it's not adding up. Why? Because I know the process a little bit, to where if it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up. So I would rather just speak directly to the lender, and get all of that information answered directly from them. If you're in a situation where you're already extending, what we typically ask for is an explanation directly from the lender. So if I'm going to ask my seller to extend, I want your lender to email me asking for the extension and why they need that extension. Why do they need that extension? I don't just hand out extensions. You should have closed this in 30 days like you said you were going to. Why aren't you? Things happen. Extensions are somewhat normal, but why? What happened? You have to, now lender, you have to email me, and I usually request it from the buyer's agent. So we'll tell the buyer's agent, here's what you want, an extension. Here's what we need in order to present this to our seller and make it make sense to them. Because I'm not just going to go and tell my seller, hey, I need an extra week to close. Why? Because the buyer is asking for it. Well, who are you representing, me or the buyer? You know, it has to make sense to us.
So then, Denise, let me ask you one thing. So let's say since the very first extension, let's say I come to my seller and I tell them, okay, so they're asking for a second extension. The reasoning was because the appraisal, okay, they were backed up and they needed more time. So then I come to him and I let him know. If he would have said, no, I don't want to wait, could the agreement gotten terminated if he didn't want to, and it would be okay? Like, it wouldn't be like breaching of contract? No? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Your seller has the option to extend. They don't have to extend.
Okay.
And that's the message that you have to get across to the buyer's agent and the lender, is like, hey, I'll help you get this extension, but you have to help me convince them that you deserve the extension. So why do you need it? And that's where we have to be proactive too, because none of us want to be babysitters, but sometimes we have to be. So you don't want to wait until week 4 to find out that they didn't order the appraisal on time. You need to ask about, as soon as they've had their inspection, this would be resale. So if we're working resale, they've done their inspection and we've already negotiated repairs. You know what it's like to be a buyer. What's next? Or a buyer's agent. What's next is that they need to order that appraisal. Make sure you follow up with them and ask them, hey, has the appraisal been ordered? You can ask that directly of the buyer's agent. Now you're going to set off an alarm for the buyer's agent and like, oh yeah, you know, it might be a friendly reminder. Let it be a friendly reminder. I've heard so many agents say, well, that's not my job. I'm not going to do that. Don't take that attitude, because we all forget stuff, first of all. Okay, we can all benefit from a friendly reminder sometimes. Don't act like you've never forgotten to order an appraisal or an inspection or send out an amendment. You know, sometimes we can benefit from a friendly reminder. Friendly being the key word, friendly reminder. Okay. And second, is this or is this not going to benefit your client at the end of the day? It is, because it's better for you to remind them at the end of week 1 then for at the end of week 4 for you to realize they totally forgot about the appraisal and they just ordered it 2 days ago. Even though I had it in my head 3 weeks ago to follow up with them and I didn't want to because it wasn't my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be a little more proactive. It's not your job, Norma, but it'll help you long term. Now,
Yes.
if they're asking for multiple extensions, if they're asking for extensions and we're not 100% convinced that this is a solid buyer anymore because what the lender's saying is not adding up, what you guys can do is you can ask for additional non-refundable earnest money to be paid directly to the seller. It doesn't even have to go to the title company. It can be like, hey, you want this extension? We're already on extension number 2. We're already 3 weeks behind. If you want this extension, you're going to have to pay for it. And it's not going to the title company because I'm not going to be dealing with trying to get the release of earnest money and be fighting with your client later. It's going directly to my seller now. Okay. So what we did was we asked for, we gave them 2 options. We said, if you're going to ask for an extension, we're going to need some money now. And Ethel, where's Ethel? Let me put her on here. We kind of went back and forth on this one because I think Ethel has a little less faith in the lender than I do right now. Okay. So Ethel's like, I don't know about this extension. You know, I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, well, look, it's a week versus a month closing. I think we should give them a chance, right? But the lender's being very shady. He asked for Wednesday, and then a couple hours later, he asked for Thursday. So what we said was, look, they're probably better off asking for an entire week. They're probably better off asking until Friday so that we don't have to go back and extend this again later. Why don't you this is what Ethel said to the buyer's agent. Where'd you go, Ethel? You disappeared.
I'm here.
You're here.
I'm
trying
yeah.
to show you on the screen, but there you are.
No, yeah, I'm here.
So the options that we gave them were what, Ethel?
We told them, okay, if you want to extend, and it was something that we told the lender and the buyer's agent. If you want an extension for 1 day, which was not really, it wouldn't help them to finish all the process. So if you want an extension of 1 day, you have to pay directly to the seller a non-refundable amount of $1,200. And if you want 2 days, $1,500.
So $1,500 they chose, which that's what they should have chose because that lender is looking a little flaky. And we said, look, we're going to extend one time. We're going to extend 1 time. And this is what we're requesting because why are we going to keep holding the seller up when we have a really good backup offer? Why are we going to keep holding the seller up when we're in a seller's market? The sellers don't have a reason to wait. Like, lenders know this. They know that we're in a seller's market. So if they're serious, they need to get with the program. And any lender should be able to close their buyer in 30 days. It doesn't matter. Even when the market was at its worst, lenders were requesting 35 to 40 days. The market is not what it was in May of last year anymore. There's no reason for the lender to take so long to close. Okay, if they're already in the last week and they're just being flaky and you're representing the seller, you have to do what's best for the seller. That doesn't mean not to give them the extension. Sometimes we should try the extension. At the same time, you don't want to waste their time. So that's a really good way for you to filter out whether they're serious or not. Because if they're really serious and if they really are going to get qualified, they'll put down I've had them put down $5,000 before on earnest money, on additional earnest money, because they were just, I was like done, like, nope, you guys are wasting our time. And I don't know if you're going to close or not. And you're just kind of wasting our time. Like, if you're serious about this, $5K, it's just part of your down payment if you close on it. If you're serious and going to close on it, it's just going to go towards your down payment. A buyer will put it down if they're serious. And what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go to the lender, and now they're going to have that discussion with the lender that the lender didn't want to have with you, because now you put them in a position where, like, hey, if you're serious, this is what you're going to do. Well, who's going to eat the bullet? Who's going to take the chance on the $5,000? The buyer. So the buyer is going to go back to the lender and say, hey, are we really going to be able to close this? Like, how much time do you really need? Because I could lose $5,000 if you're not being honest with me. And so now they have to have that discussion and they have to figure it out. Now, the lender had told us that they wanted one more day. Tell me why the buyer paid for the additional 2 days. Because the lender's being a little flaky. And I even told Ethel, if they're smart, they're going to ask for 2 days, because that lender's not being the most transparent right now.
Yeah.
So they'll ask for at least the 2 days just to give that lender more time, just in case.
And can I add something? Oh, somebody wants, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, for you and for Norma Rivera, what kind of loans are these?
This one is FHA. The one that we have is FHA.
This one is FHA as well.
Oh, I see.
No, but it's not about the loan. Can I add some other things? Because it's something important what Norma said about if we need to talk with the other people. It's important to do one thing at the beginning, and we always do, is an email where you put all the people involved in the transaction, the lender, the title company, the buyer's agent, the seller agent. So you are opening there the door to everybody can connect to everybody, because all of us have the information of everyone. So that's the first thing. And the second one, when I am going to call the lender, I say that to the buyer's agent. Hey, if you don't have the answer, I will call the lender to see what is happening, because I need to know. And they are not going to say no, because they need to close. We have the same goal, to close this deal.
Right.
So if they don't have the answer because they don't know how to get it, because they are new, whatever, because they don't want to get involved in the lender's process, but you need to know the goal is the same. So it's not that you're putting your nose where you don't need to. You need to, because your goal is to close. So you will need to find all the answers to close your transaction. So it's not, don't feel like you are involving or getting involved in others' job. It's your job. Your job is to close for your client.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better, you guys. And so if you don't know, Ethel does transaction coordinating for a lot of our deals, and she's so good at it. And the reason why she's so good at it is because she's so assertive about getting these answers. Okay. So transaction coordinating is one aspect of the deal. Okay. We have so many aspects of the deal. We have so many aspects to being a realtor. That's one aspect of the deal. But that aspect right there is vital. You have to be relentless when you're trying to get answers to close the deal, because like Ethel said, everyone has the end goal. We're here to get somebody to closing. Our goal is to get somebody from A to Z, Z being closing. Nobody gets paid if nobody's closing. So if we've already taken the time to market the property, show the property, negotiate offers, inspections, appraisals, we've already done all of that. getting it to closing it's just like the last little thing that we have to tie up, last little strings that we have to tie up. Get it to closing so that everybody can have their end goal. And Ethel's 1,000% correct. You and the buyer's agent have the same end goal. They should be working with you. There's difficult agents. We went over that. They're gonna be there. That's just part of life. Just like anything else, most agents are gonna work with you. Okay. Remember, this is our affirmation for the week. I know my value and only work with realistic, qualified, and motivated buyers and sellers. It just goes hand in hand with what we're talking about right now. Is sometimes you have to light the fire under them to see, are they serious or not? You have to put them in that position because you represent your client. And if you're extending a week, maybe not a big deal. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you know what you're doing? You're wasting their money too, because now they have to pay for an additional mortgage payment. Their property taxes are adding up. They're paying for utilities. Like, we can't waste our clients' time like that. So we have to do what we have to do to make sure that we get those answers. And if that means that you're that annoying person that's calling and calling and calling, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're all working a deal together. Don't be afraid to make phone calls until somebody answers. Don't be afraid to send emails until somebody answers. It's part of the process. If you're good at what you do, you'll be relentless with these calls.
And I can tell you that I am that annoying person.
And I love you for it, Ethel, because that's me too. And it's necessary. It's necessary sometimes. It's one of those.
It's fun.
It is what it is.
Because you know what the other person is thinking is, oh, again, yeah, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you need to close.
And if they said they're going to get you an answer by a certain time and they don't get you an ansor by that time, guess what?
Yeah.
Me and Ethel are calling. You're gonna get so annoyed with us calling that you're gonna get us the damn answer. You're gonna get us answer. You're gonna have no choice. Okay, but this is what it takes to get the deal done sometimes. Being the most liked, that doesn't always get the deal done. Okay, right now I'm in go mode. I represent, the only person that matters right now is my client, and that's who I'm representing. And I don't care if I get annoying to you or you or you or you. I'm gonna get this done for my client. Okay. All right. Can I get the time, please?
And that's not that you're not going to be polite or you're not going to do your job as professional. You're not going to blame on them. You're going to ask and push and ask again and ask for money. And what you need to do to have your client, because you are working for somebody who needs an answer and the money. So yeah, is what you need to do. When the buyer's agent gave me the check yesterday for the seller, I told her, you know what? The seller is not going to extend anymore. If we are not going to close on Friday, your client is going to lose $2,000 because he put 500 in earnest at the beginning, and then he's putting 1,500. So go to the lender, talk with him. Tell your client that he needs to close. So now is their job.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Last week we didn't finish the end of this module, and in reality, it's just everything that we've been talking about. It's just everything that we've been talking about. It's like Ethel said, when you get a property, or when you get a property under escrow, when you execute a contract, make sure that everybody gets copies of that executed contract and that you have everybody's information. Because like Ethel said, this is going to open up the doors to communication, and this is going to set the expectation of, hey, hey team, we're all a team now. We're all working on getting this transaction closed. Buyer's agent, title officer, lender, myself, any TCs involved, okay? We're all a team and we're working towards getting this closed. That's why that initial email is so important. Also, it gives you the opportunity to see if you're missing somebody's contact information. So when you first execute that contract and you're putting this email together, you're going to realize if you're missing somebody's information, because you're going to go through your list. Okay, make it a habit of going through that list and, okay, here's the buyer's agent, phone number and email. Here's the title officer, phone number and email. Does the title officer have an assistant? Make sure you have their phone number and email. The lender, phone number and email. Do they have an assistant? Phone number and email. You get all of this information up front. You put it in a nice little email and you say, hey, everybody, congratulations. Looking forward to working with you. This is everybody's contact information. You know, let's get this deal done. It really sets the presence of, you know what you're doing. You understand that you're all in this together. You're looking forward to working with them. Okay. Who doesn't love an email that says, I'm looking forward to working with you? And it sets the presence and the tone of, we're gonna be organized and we're gonna get this thing done. Okay. Always advise buyers to verify wiring instructions. We went over that. Please make sure your clients know about wire fraud and how to make sure that that doesn't happen. We went over the process. So prepare the buyer for last minute lender requirements. Always make sure that you're prepping your buyer ahead of time to be on top of their paperwork. Okay, so there are a lot of hands in the pot, right? There's a lot of hands in the pot when we're working through a deal. We have the lenders, we have the agents, we have inspectors, we have, hay muchas manos en la masa, como se dice, ¿verdad? Like, and what do they say? Like, cuando hay tantas manos en la masa no sale bien, right? And that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with, as much as we don't like it, there's going to be a lot of hands in that pot. So your job as a realtor is to coordinate and make sure that everybody's doing their job. It's a lot like babysitting. It's a lot like, I think I mentioned this before, it's a lot like coordinating a wedding. It's a lot like coordinating a party, because your job is you're overlooking this and you're seeing, is everybody doing their job when and how they're supposed to? Because if one person doesn't do their job, it throws off all the timelines. So if you're working with the buyer, make sure that you prepare your buyer, their expectations. You let them know up front. Hey, like one of the things that I usually tell my clients after we get the contract executed is the next step is I want to collect earnest money and option money, right? First, I need that contract executed, and if it's truly executed, we've got earnest money and option money. So I need them to get that first. ASAP. I need this ASAP. That's the first thing. As soon as they get that in, all right, you're going to be receiving some disclosures from the lender. The lender is going to be requesting information from you now. You might have already given them this information. Give it to them again if they ask you for it. All the information that they ask you for, set it aside somewhere where it's easy for you to find. Don't put it away anymore, because they might ask you for it again. This is the talk that I give my buyers. I make sure that they have the right expectation of, hey, you're a key element in this closing. I have my homework. The lender has their homework. The inspector has their homework. You have your homework. And the buyer needs to understand that their role is vital also. Okay, so you have to let them know up front. They're going to be asking you for this information. Make sure you get them the information as soon as possible. Okay. Schedule and attend. So closings, right now we have some title companies that are allowing us into closings and others that are not. I do recommend that you guys try to make a presence at closing. Early in my real estate career, I went to a closing and I was sitting in the waiting room, and there was a family in the waiting room. It was like a husband, wife, and I think one child. And of course, I'm like super excited because my clients are about to close, but my clients weren't there. So I'm sitting in the lobby with this other family, and I'm like, hey, are you guys about to close on your home? And they kind of looked upset, like they didn't seem like in very good spirits. And the husband is like, yeah, we're closing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, congratulations. I'm just trying to kind of make a little small talk. I'm in a super good mood because I'm about to close, and I'm a little confused about why they're not in a good mood because they're about to close. Well, it turned out he started talking to me, and he asked me, are you guys supposed to come to closings? And I said, well, no, we don't have to come to the closings. Honestly, we're here kind of for moral support. There's not really anything that I have to do here at the closing. I'm just kind of here to congratulate my clients and be here for them in the moment. And it turned out that that's what he was upset about. He was upset that his agent had not showed up. He was upset that his agent had not made a presence. He felt like his agent was just in it for the money and that they didn't make a presence. Now, I cannot say that I've been to every single closing, and I understand if you can't go to every single closing. But I do recommend that you guys make it a point to congratulate your client in one way or fashion or form. So maybe you don't go to closings. And right now with COVID, they're not letting us into all the closings either. But make it a point to maybe stop by the house afterwards, or make it a point to hand deliver the keys. Like I don't hand deliver the keys necessarily, but I go to closings. But if I wanted to, I could just make it to where I'm hand delivering the keys. Like you want to be there to close them out at some point. It's part of the relationship that you've built with them. If our goal is to get them from A to Z, and then we get them to Z, but we don't show up on Z, it doesn't make sense to them. It confuses them a little bit. And why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it make sense to them? It is a little confusing. Like, well, the whole point is for her to sell me the house, and then she's not even here on the day that I'm closing. So just try to make an effort to be there. You guys can do a little closing gift. You guys can do a thank you card. I make it a habit also to say thank you to my clients always. I'm a gifter. That doesn't mean that you have to be a gifter, but always say thank you for the opportunity. Kind of going back to all of our mindset stuff, we have to always remain grateful. We have to remain grateful for what we have, and especially our clients. Like, man, without our clients, we wouldn't have a living. It's our clients giving us that opportunity to serve them and putting their trust in us with a really big, sometimes scary event in their life. Okay, this is a huge event, and they're trusting you with it. They're giving you all their trust. And how many times do they turn around and look at you and go, what do you recommend? And then you recommend it, and they say, okay. They're trusting you. They're putting their life in your hands. You know what I mean? So make sure that you thank them. Please always be grateful for those clients, even the difficult clients. There's something that we can get out of it. Closing does not happen until both have occurred. Funds released to the lender, and then the sale has been. Okay, so we kind of talked about this last week also. Just make sure you remind your buyers that until the funds transfer over, it has not closed. We don't want them spending money on furniture or going out and buying their new car prematurely. And then last but not least, when the buyer gets to take possession of the home, make sure that you make arrangements for the keys. So different agents make arrangements for the keys in different manners. Some listing agents will take the keys and just drop them off at the title company. And then that's where the clients can pick them up. Some listing agents leave them in the Sentry lock box and then allow you or your client to get them the day of closing. Just make sure that you make arrangements with the listing agent if you're representing the buyer ahead of time of where these keys are going to be. Because when you get to closing, that's the first thing that the buyer is going to ask you. It's like, well, where do I get my keys? So make sure you know where they're going to get those. If they're left at the title company, you can have them pick up their own keys. Or you can make if you don't want them left at the title company because you want to hand the clients the keys yourself, you definitely have to get with the listing agent ahead of time so that you guys can make those arrangements. Okay, so if that's going to be part of your closing where you want to hand deliver the keys, make sure you make arrangements with the listing agent ahead of time. And then last but not least, we have the one habit. I don't know if you guys have been doing your one habit, 3 calls a day, 3 additional contacts per day, and 6 notes per week. But today you guys are going to do more than the one habit, right? Because everyone's going to go out and prospect today. Everyone's going to use Ford. Everyone? Yes. I want to see everyone saying yes. We're going to prospect hard today because everybody's sitting at home just waiting for us to call them. They're just waiting for Connie to call them and be like, oh, sí, Connie, estaba pensando en ti. And you guys chat it up, catch up, enjoy the company of your friend that you haven't talked to in a while. And then remind them, hey, I'm still in real estate. This is what my goal is for the year. Maybe you can help me. I want to get 50 families into a home this year. Do you know of anybody that wants to get into a home? I want to help them. I would love to help them. Okay. Always be pushing your real estate. That's all we have for today, you guys. I really wanted to push you guys and hopefully motivate you guys to go out and do what you have to do today, which is one thing, and that's prospect. Prospect heavy today. Okay. This is going to set you up for the week. So go out and do it. You guys can do this. I believe in you. And I really look forward to hearing about all your success stories on Thursday. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, before you guys leave, we have a special training on Thursday and we need to RSVP. We need to know who's going to show up on Thursday. So can you guys tell us who all is showing up, please? Norma, Ethel, Alvaro and Michelle, Lorena Fabre, Connie, Alberto, Oscar. Okay, thank you guys. We will see you on Thursday then. Good luck, guys.
Denise, is it at the same time?
So Thursdays we do 10 a.m.
Okay.
Mondays are 11, Thursdays are 10.
Okay, and those are the only 2 days that you guys train, correct?
Those are the only 2 days that we do these trainings. We do the one-on-one separately. So you can give me a call and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, bye guys. Have a great day.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Denise.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome. Bye guys. Have a good day.